So, what do you think?
Kid's a real talker.
I noticed. How'd they diagnose it?
Severe trauma at age 12. Brutal self-defense, murder of a psychopathic killer.
You're listening to Fun with Horror with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th, and welcome to episode number 142 of Fun with Horror. This is a very special bonus episode. Normally, for these Friday the 13th episodes, we're joined by our good friend Stanley from the Gory Gaze, but he could not make it this time. So I was very honored and lucky to get our good friends over at Chuddle the Pod to join me for this episode. So everybody say hello to Bryan.
Hi.
Ross.
Hey.
And Sam.
Oh, hey.
Sup?
Oh my God, this is fantastic.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so good. So
It's down to business, Bryan.
Hi.
this is your second time on Fun with Horror.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2.
It is.
Number
Mhm.
2. How are you guys doing? How have you been since then?
It's good. The holding pen that you had us in was really accommodating.
Nice.
So
Best
it
one
was-
we've been in yet.
Yeah. So it was a nice reprieve between episodes. Yeah.
The perfect mixture of pleasure and pain.
Yeah.
In the pea soup, it was to your liking?
It was
to your
lukewarm,
liking,
but it was
therefore
fine.
it was to our liking.
Sam is so quiet right now.
Well, I mean, I have notes. The pea soup could use salt. The pain, turn it up.
See,
a
this is
notch.
the thing about Sam.
Pleasure.
And this is the thing. You got to watch out. He'll tell you the truth. Thank you for
I'll
having
work
us.
on it. I'll work on it.
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming on.
It's our pleasure.
So the last episode you guys did with me was that other movie, Oculus.
Mhm.
So first of all, everybody go back and listen to that
Renegade.
episode, even
Mhm.
though I didn't plug in my mic. It's plugged in tonight though, guys.
Oh,
You
awesome.
sure?
Oh, good.
Are
I
we-
meant to
okay,
ask.
good. It sounds good. It sounds good. I like it.
You sound great.
So much better. Thank you, Ross. You get extra.
I
pea
said
soup.
it too.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
Dang. Oh, darn.
P seconds.
So last time I asked you guys what your favorite horror movie was and all that. So this time, since it's Friday the 13th, I want to know what your favorite Nightmare on Elm Street is. Sam,
guy.
I'll
Interesting.
start with you.
Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday
Yeah.
the 13th? What we're
No,
covering?
I want to know Nightmare on Elm Street.
The other franchise. Okay.
Yes.
That's great. I do want to let you know that when you talked about your mic being plugged in, I just noticed mine wasn't going into the recording. So I just hit the button and now it is.
Okay, wait. So, okay. I guess I'll figure that out.
Good luck. This is what I have
Sam,
to deal
throw
with.
curveballs.
So what we're saying is you're going to sound a little echoey until this moment.
Well, it's more ominous because it gives it that
Yeah.
like boiler room echoey kind of vibe that led up to your favorite Nightmare on Elm Street.
We'll just say that Sam was
Correct.
still in the cage.
Yes, it was still kind of half.
Yeah,
the
I
holding
hadn't
pen.
been let out of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's why I still had complaints. You guys were like, it's great out here.
Just insert some sort of like muffled
Yeah.
noise, like as if someone's wearing a leather mask with a zipper over it. When Sam's supposed to be talking, it'll be great.
There you go.
Perfect.
Wholesome.
Wholesome.
The original Nightmare on Elm Street.
The original
is my
Nightmare on Elm
favorite.
Street. Okay, very good.
Easily. Like, it's one of my top all-time favorite horror movies. And there are sequels that I like, but overall, I don't like a lot of the sequels in the franchise. So, not too hard.
Okay, Bryan,
Love that.
Hello.
what is your favorite Child's Play?
My favorite Child's Play is Bride of Chucky.
Nice.
Fair.
Ross, what is your favorite puppet master?
Oh, God. I would have to say...
I'm glad you asked him that, not me. Sorry.
Man, that's actually a really tough one. The newest one with Dangle, I thought was... That almost got my goat more than classic. I would say classic. I would say first. Yeah. I would definitely say first Puppet Master is going to be just... You can't get past like the blade that they just milk that entire film. So yeah, that was for all the ASMR listeners as well.
There you go.
You're gonna have to throw explicit on this now.
Oh wait, did he say a bad word?
No,
no,
I'm trying to be
the
good.
noise.
He just
trying to be
gave
good.
everyone bad feelings.
Yeah. I have the shot collar on. I know that there's no swearing.
Okay, but
It's
for
more
real,
of an
for real,
explicit
guys.
sound.
Sam, what's your favorite
Hi.
Friday the 13th? And we're only doing this is only between Friday the 13th 1 through X. So Freddy versus Jason and the remake do not count.
Okay, fair enough.
So Sam,
The one we're covering tonight,
which
A
is
New Beginning.
which is why I asked you guys here.
Yes,
So guys,
It is
say thank you to
the
Sam
best.
for being on here because it's because of him. Bryan, what's your favorite Friday the 13th?
Part 8. Jason Takes
Part
Manhattan.
My
He's a wet
love.
boy, Jason.
Hi.
My love.
Hands.
Hands.
Hands reaching out, touching you,
That's
touching
my
me.
favorite.
Aw.
Friday the 13th.
It was
part
meant
8.
to be. Good. We'll talk
Ross,
about that
what's
maybe
yours?
someday.
Oh, God. Now that we got the favorite out. Okay, I'm gonna say I always bounce around between a few of them, but I would say for this recording, part 4. I mean, you get some good gore, you get some great kills, and also you get like little special effects kit. And I started doing that when I was like 12, 13 years old, so it hit all the notes for me.
That's awesome. I love that. Very good. Okay, so we are here because Fun with Horror has been going for 5 Friday the 13th, which is crazy to me. This is the 5th Friday the 13th. As everybody knows, maybe.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Our very first Friday the 13th, Andrew and I did a commentary episode for Friday the 13th, part 1. And then we decided next time we're just going to do our normal structure, whatever we do, right? But then Andrew couldn't join me. So Stanley joined, and we did Friday the 13th, part 2.
Oh.
And then we were going to, like all this time, we've been randomly picking Friday the 13th using a 10-sided die. But the first 3 times we rolled the die, it ended up being 1, 2, and 3.
Well, that's interesting.
So after that, we just decided let's just keep going in chronological order. And we've made it to number 5.
Ooh.
Cinco.
Might as well quit after this.
You scared of spiders? You scared of rubber spiders? You scared of rubber spiders on strings? Man, you are one scared cat. Where I come from, you learn to be scared of nothing. They call me Reggie the Reckless.
Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, was directed by Danny Steinmann. It was written by Danny Steinmann, David Cohen, and Martin Kitrosser. It stars Melanie Kinnaman as Pam, John Shepard as Tommy. Who else? Corey Feldman as Tommy at age 12. Who else should I mention? Oh, this is so out of order. I'm on IMDb, guys.
IMDb, yeah.
It's terrible.
IMDb.
They know, so they mix it up
like
for you.
that.
Well, I think IMDb is racist. Shavar Ross as
goodness.
Reggie. There we go. And guys, this is very special because Miguel A. Núñez Jr. plays Demon. And you know what else he was in? Ross, what was he in?
Do you want to party? Because it's party time. Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah. Thank you. And the first episode that I guested on with you guys was Return of the Living
Dead.
So this was meant to be.
How about that?
So before we get into this really hard and fast, guys, I want to know what you guys think about this movie, you know, where you saw it first, all that good stuff, but without spoilers. We're not going to spoil it yet.
Okay.
So, Sam, we know that this is your favorite. So, tell me why you love Friday the 13th Part 5.
Okay, so I had not seen any of the Friday the 13th movies until last year, 2023. I used all my picks on Chuddle the Pod for them. I didn't think the first few were very good. I thought 4 was fantastic, and then when this one came along, it was just so unbelievable.
That's a really good word to describe Part 5.
I just think it's a blast. I think it's the most entertaining. I think it the most quotable. It's the one that I would look forward to rewatching most. And when I put it on last night, like, I was excited to find it in the box set that I got and pull it out and put it on. It's just a good time. And also, everybody had talked about how horrible this one was. The whole reputation for it was that it was terrible. And even watching it, I was like, I don't know why people hate this so much until the end, because that had not been spoiled for me. I can see it, especially coming off of 4, but it is so much fun. It's a riot.
Awesome. Bryan.
Hi.
What do you think of Friday the 13th Part 5?
Thank you for having me. I don't, I guess, hate this movie, but I don't care for it in much regard. I think I was, when I just had to go and look at our scores and my thoughts previously to watching this one, I was the lowest out of the three of us on this one, giving it out of something like a 2 out of 5. It's not very, I mean, it's memorable for one major reason for me, and other parts since, and Sam's love for it has since made it grow memorable. But I don't have any real history with it. I feel like when I first discovered it was probably first along the lines when I dabbled into some Friday the 13th movies, probably in high school-ish time frame or something like that. So that's it. But we'll get into the other parts of it in a little bit. But
so in the pantheon of Friday the 13th movies, would you say it was in the top 5 or the bottom 5 these days?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. Probably bottom for me, just realistically, based on what I like to put at the top. I can,
but more of a power bottom.
But I don't think it's at the bottom by any means. Over there,
it's at bottom by default.
By your standards.
5.
Yes, bottom by Scotty standards. Bottoms by Scotty.
Like making lists.
You have no idea what my standards are yet.
Hard Body Scotty. That's your exercise program. Bottoms by Scotty. There you go. I love it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, Ross.
Power bottom. It's 5 is I blanked out 5 for a very long. When you got Part 4 and then you got Part 6, it's a pretty easy jump just to not watch 5 if you're having a movie marathon. So I omitted 5 for a pretty long time until, honestly, going back in when we did it for the podcast. And like a fungus, it has grown on me because of Sam's love for it. I think it's because he's so enthusiastic about it. I look at it through Sam tinted glasses now. And I have not enjoyed this movie more than after recording it for, I think that like now I have a new appreciation for Roy, and specifically people who like Part 5 as much as Sam does.
This is very cool
for people like me.
This is very, very cool because I kind of had the same experience over the past week. I watched it when I was flying back from Florida, your state, guys. I was flying back from Florida. I watched it on the plane, and I was thinking to myself, oh, right, this is this one. And I was like, you know what? I got to be fair. I didn't love it. It's kind of cheesy, blah, blah, blah. I gave it a 2.5 on Letterboxd. Then, because of Sam's enthusiasm, but also because I watched Dead Meat's Kill Count for this one.
Okay.
And James said a lot of really interesting things about the movie. He was the same. He did not like the movie at first, but it grew on him. And the characters and just the situation and people not calling it, saying, you know, this isn't a real Friday the 13th for reasons we'll get into.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then with Sam's enthusiasm, when I rewatched it again last night to take notes, all of a sudden I was seeing it through different eyes. The Sam tinted glasses. And I gave it a 3.5. It went up a point.
Ooh, that's a big jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. Like 8 is still my favorite. I actually really like 8 and X for some reason, but part 5 has moved on up. So, yes, Bryan.
Hi, thank you for having me. Would you put it in the top 5 or the bottom 5 of your Friday the 13th movies?
That is a really interesting question.
Thank you. I heard it somewhere.
I think it would be somewhere around the middle, to be honest with you.
Oh, good. Thanks.
So Roy's the meat in the Friday the 13th sandwich. So there's a little bit above, a little bit below, but he's kind of like dead center.
Or you could say that I'm in the sandwich in between Bryan and Sam.
Oh.
You could.
Wow. Yeah.
Coming soon to Patreon.
Yep. Chuddle the hoagie.
Wholesome. Okay, so next, we're going to start to spoil this movie. So if anybody out there has not seen Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, this is your warning. Although I think we're pretty safe. Most people have seen it. But just in case, we're about to spoil everything about this movie that we care to spoil. So guys, we've reached that point.
Hi.
Roy did
I'm going to roll a 10-sided die. It's going to be a virtual 10-sided die, the lucky one. And we already assigned numbers to the 3 of you. One of you is going to do our 3-minute recap. I have a bus sitting outside of each of your homes.
Ooh.
And I'm prepared. So whoever does the 3-minute recap, if you go over 3 minutes, this bus is going to come in, take you away, and take you to a little place called, what's it called? Pinehurst.
Oh no.
The bus is going to do this?
Yeah, the bus is going to take you there.
It's going to come in your house and take you.
So, let's find
part
out
Transformer.
who's going to do it. Ross, why don't you tell me when to stop rolling this die?
Okay. You should stop rolling it now.
All right. The number is 1. Bryan.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the quick one?
Whenever you're ready, my friend, go ahead and tell us about Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
So it's a Friday the 13th movie, and you think Jason was killing everyone, but then you find out it was the ambulance driver.
Roy.
Did
Very
I make
good.
it?
You came in just under 3 minutes.
Just under. Barely. Just barely.
I
That
think
was
there's a thing
amazing.
about poop in the movie. There's about eating slop
Enchiladas.
and stuff like that. And if you like your Jason to not be Jason and extra goofy, this is the one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he's essentially Jason the whole movie.
But his
until
name
one
is
shot
Roy,
at the
and
very
he's not.
end.
So
He's
he's
not.
not
Right.
Jason. But he looks like him.
Right, because he's a more prolific killer than
Yes.
Jason.
But
Jason
he's
killed
not, because
bodies like
Jason.
this.
But this is just contained to one movie. Jason has had a much more illustrious and longer career. Jason's come back to
Absolutely.
life. Nobody wants Roy to come back to life, apparently. He's just
Yeah,
still dead in a
you're
field
right.
somewhere.
Well, that's not nobody.
I do find it funny that one
Somebody
of
does.
the almost intentionally goofiest installments also has like the highest body count. I feel like that juxtaposition makes it that much more bonkers, I guess the best way to put it.
I like how Scotty just kind of sat back and let this happen.
Yes. He threw the stick of dynamite. And just
My apologies. My apologies. Thank you for having us.
Don't apologize ever. Ever.
I don't know. I
Bryan.
felt like that was getting a little too heated. I don't know. This is, as long as we're
Bryan,
wholesome.
never apologize. You're in a safe place.
Oh,
Ever.
thank you.
This is
All
fun
right,
with
guys,
horror.
it's going to get wild.
Okay, wait, no, Bryan, put your pants back on. Hang on.
Yes. Oh, we always
Too
Donald
late.
Duck
We
it.
always
Yeah, we
record
always
Donald
we
Duck.
talked about
Yeah.
this before. Everybody
Oh, that's
Donald
true.
Ducks it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fun with horror.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna
That's where the fun
totally
comes from.
chuddle this, guys.
Good. I'm done.
This is so my experience, and I'm gonna call you out on this, Ross.
Oh, okay, yes.
One of my favorite things about doing Chuddle the Pod are the moments where you just jump ahead in the story before you guys have ever gotten there. It's like my favorite thing. And then it's either Sam or Bryan is like,
Reel it
yeah,
back.
we'll get there. We'll get there, Ross.
Hold on.
We'll get there. That's a catchphrase.
Yes.
But now you have free reign to
wow.
jump wherever you want. You can talk about the ending of the movie if you want.
What?
This is chaos. We
got the power.
we free flow about our movies here on Fun with Horror. So that said, I do want to start with the beginning of this movie.
Okay.
Because this scene is awesome. Did you guys know? Well, you guys did an episode on
That
this.
was Corey Feldman? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but you did an episode on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
See.
So you probably, guys, you know all the behind the scenes stuff, don't you?
Well, not all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your listeners would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Did you know that Corey Feldman was shooting The Goonies at the time of the shooting of this movie? So they had to film his scenes at the beginning of the movie in his own backyard.
I love that.
I didn't know the backyard bit. See,
I love that,
something new.
especially the fact that like he can just walk outside and just do a few cuts of this. You know?
Yeah. Did you know that when you see Corey Feldman walking, or young Tommy Jarvis, let's say, walking towards the grave, did you know that that's a little lady in a yellow raincoat?
No. Wait, just
I had my
particular?
suspicions.
Do they just stalk a lady in a yellow raincoat?
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I listened to like the first 30 minutes of the commentary on the Blu-ray, which is Danny Steinmann, Tommy Jarvis, and Reggie the Reckless all talking together with a super fan on the phone.
Ooh,
Danny Steinmann, as sleazy as his reputation on this movie is, was funny as hell on the commentary. He starts the commentary by belittling himself and his movie.
Good.
And then he just constantly says things that aren't true. Like he talks about how he did everything. Like the Tommy Shepard, what's his name? Tommy Jarvis.
The Tommy Jarvis, yeah.
Yeah. So he would say, like, who filmed this scene? Who was behind the Steadicam? And Steinmann would be like, "Oh yeah, that was me. I did that. Yeah, I wrote all this."
That's so on brand.
So he said that a little lady was in the yellow rain slicker. Who knows if it's true?
Well, I think a good litmus test, especially for the notorious antics of this director. Did the old lady get naked afterwards? Because that would probably be an accurate fact if there was
little lady.
Yeah, we never said old. We just said little.
There's a little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, little.
And you don't know what she was wearing under that slicker.
Nothing.
Here's my question, Sam.
Yo.
When you first saw this movie, did you know going into it that it wasn't actually Jason Voorhees?
I did not.
Wow. How was that reveal?
I thought, oh, this is why everybody hates this movie. Because up until that point, I was like, it's not good, but a lot of these movies aren't good. This is fun, at least. And
when did you realize it wasn't Jason? Was it early in the movie?
When the mask popped? No.
At the very end?
I mean, yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, there's no indication it's not Jason, right?
Correct.
That's true, but
I thought it was going to be Tommy Jarvis until he shows up when Jason is there.
Right, but the indications are that it's a different hockey mask.
The implications.
Right. The Friday the 13th nerds all know that Jason's hockey mask has the cut, the axe slice.
Sure, but this is a new beginning.
Red.
Well, this may also be depressed
going into
Jason,
this
because
movie.
it's
I
blue.
mean,
he's blue now.
Sure, but I really don't think. Maybe you can correct me. Going into this movie, especially at the time, that you would have any inclination that you're supposed to be suspecting this isn't anything but Jason, right? I can't recall if the movie does too many. This could be him or not type of things. Sam, maybe you can speak to that. How?
Not particularly, no. I mean, they try and set it with Tommy stuff. Whenever you see him, they're trying to make it seem like he's crazy. He'll see Jason around
Halluci-Jason.
after
Halluci-Jason,
Yeah,
yes.
Halluci-Jason.
Yeah.
After the killings happen, he'll then see Jason like with that murder weapon or something that happens after he kills the other ambulance driver and the lady at the restaurant. He does it with an axe, and then he sees Jason holding a bloody axe.
See, I like
out the window.
I like your perspective, Sam, because like first watching this, I just thought that Tommy had multiple personality disorder, and one of them was this Jason figment of his imagination that murdered everybody. I think I may have, from Jump Street, probably would have enjoyed it more thinking it was just Jason the entire time.
I mean, the reason
I wasn't.
The reason I'm asking
sure
you guys this is because I don't remember. I don't remember if I knew it was Jason or if I knew it was not Jason, because I know I saw this kind of late. I think by the time I saw, well, maybe 5 was more recent, but I didn't see any Friday the 13th until I think after 6 came out. For whatever reason, this was the series that my parents kept me away from, even though I had seen all the Nightmare on Elm Streets up to this point, which I think was like, what, 2? And I saw, I think, Halloween and Halloween 2. But yeah, this is the one. The only big franchise I saw after Friday the 13th was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, okay. We would swap like VHSs and DVDs in high school, and I feel like this one was kind of, I knew what the twist was from Jump Street. I would say like the just because it was like avoid this one and it's not Jason. Like that's how it was introduced to me. You know what I mean? Where which is
yeah.
All the kills, everything, like it's like every other movie where it's sort of a whodunit, even though you know who the killer is. But all the first kills, you don't see who does it, and then voila, it's Jason or somebody wearing Jason cosmetics.
Well, I did like that aspect because I mean, like in the first one, whodunit, and then from second Jason going forward, you kind of lose that, and then in the 5th installment, they kind of revert back to like, is it Jason?
But
is it not Jason?
2, 3, and 4, they all still the kills. It doesn't show Jason doing it. He kind of get reveals at the end. It's like ridiculous that they could do it for so long in the franchise.
All right. Sam, I'm coming back to you because you were, of all 3 of you, you seem to be the one that was most in the dark as to who it was
going
behind the mask. When the reveal happened at the end, this is a question I wanted to ask you. When the mask came off, did you recognize Roy?
No.
Right?
And again, it makes me love it even more. Like on first watch, this movie is so apeshit. It's kind of like hard to know what's going on or follow. It jumps around. This time watching it, because I watched it a few times before, like 3 times maybe, but then a big break. But I've thought about it a lot. And so coming back, it was just like, oh, and now it's this scene, and now it's this scene, and now it's this scene, and not what's happening now? Okay, and now we're where? And who's this? And what's going on?
I love rewatching it and seeing all the scenes with Roy. Like, even when he's in the background, I feel like he's
so
like
funny.
slowly migrating towards the center screen, going like, this guy, look, it's me in the background. No,
I don't think it's slow. I think it's pretty obvious.
It's very deliberate. Yeah.
The only line
he does that
has
thing
in the
where he just
movie.
like stares at the camera. And he's like, and you're like, and then like the best part though is when the sheriff is looking at the 2 greaser guys that get killed, like the flare in the mouth.
Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tooey. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat.
And the sheriff is like just standing there and he goes, what is happening? And then Roy behind him goes, were you talking to me, Sheriff?
You talking to me?
No. And he's like, oh, I thought you were talking to me. And he's
slowly
like, happy.
walks away.
Those are his only lines in the movie. And then right after that, the sheriff says something about like, we got to figure out who this guy is. And then it cuts to Roy.
Yeah.
Direct shot. I do like the fact that, like, because he's the EMT, the ambulance driver, is that, like, he's going to get his prints over everything while they're investigating anyways. So I do like that, like, even if they're like, we're dusted for prints and we're just getting Roy's, and it just turns around, it's like, oh, weird.
I forgot to wear my gloves.
I like that Roy saw his son die and was like, I'm going to go kill the first 2 people I find. These greasers will do it.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Like, why did they have to die?
There's so many people in this movie that you're just like, why did they have to die? Why did Roy kill these people? I mean,
He's
this movie
angry.
makes no sense
He's an
a
angry
lot of
dad.
times. Yeah.
It's what, yes, it does. I mean, it's not good. So when I talk about how much I love
It's not
I'm
good.
not, it's because it's just like unbelievable, again, is the best word. Because it's crazy to think they could get away with just about any of it.
Right.
The dancing scene, the bedroom scene when she is dancing to that dope song.
Okay, so let's ask you this, since this is your favorite, that dance scene or Crispin Glover in Friday the 13th Part 4, which is your favorite dance scene?
Oh, Crispin. Oh, sorry. No, it's me.
Well, I know yours, Ross.
So the thing is, Crispin's is less of a dance scene so much as he dances in a scene, where this is like a dance number. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Actually, I don't have a counter argument to that.
That's true. That's true.
So do I
Bryan?
want like 10 seconds of dancing versus a minute?
Bryan Crispin or this girl, Violet?
Crispin.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I'll take 10 seconds of dancing over a minute.
I'm going Violet. I like the
He's
song.
a
I like the
minimalist.
dance.
Yeah, yeah.
But that is not to cast aspersions on Crispin Glover's dance, because it's incredible.
It is fantastic. And I'm going to take Crispin over her a little bit, but again, watching this in two times in 1 week, I've really grown to enjoy Violet's dance.
The reasons people talk about why they like Jason X, I feel like if they could apply that same sort of spirit to watching this, they'd have a lot better time.
Ooh.
Now, that's a good point. So, Bryan, since I feel a kinship with you because Part 8 is your favorite, Part 8 is my favorite, and I feel like it's got to be for the same reasons, because Part 8 is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun movie. I did something similar to Sam in that I watched all 10 of these in a row one year, and then the remake, and I came to the conclusion that I love the remake. It's what I wanted
Remake's
Jason
really
to
good.
be in all the other 10 movies.
What people think Jason is in the other movies.
Exactly.
He's so brutal in the remake.
But then I started thinking about these 10 movies, and I realized that if you look at them objectively, I don't really think any of them are good. Like, they're not good movies, in my opinion.
4 has the best argument, and even then, it's tough.
Well, that's why I love to talk to people about which one is their favorite, because people have different reasons. You know, you love this one because of how different it is and how nuts it is, how it's
The
just
whole
goes
it's so
outside
bad it's
of the
good
norm.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I understand why Ross likes 4. A lot of people love 4 or 6. And then there's a lot of people who, I think the majority of people that I've seen polled about this is like Part 2. Because Part 2 is the one that I think comes closest to being an actual good movie, in my opinion.
I'm a sucker for 7, though. You know what I mean?
2's my least favorite in the franchise.
Wait, what?
2 is my least favorite in the franchise.
Why is that?
I found it boring, and I didn't like the characters.
Okay.
And that's coming off of 1, which has some really boring parts.
What about Jason in the Bag mask? What did you think about that?
Sackhead Jason?
Or were you just anxious to see him in the hockey mask when you saw all the movies?
I knew he was in the sackhead in this one, and that we didn't get the mask till 3.
Yeah.
It didn't do much for me.
Brian, how do you feel about 2?
I only gave it something slightly higher, but I think, I don't know, like you said, all these movies, if you think of them as a movie, aren't necessarily good, but the thought of Sackhead Jason's nice, but then when you think like, don't you just open up the other eye hole too? Why don't you just go see a little bit better, bud?
Yeah, running into doors all the time.
Yeah, right. Come on, guy. I mean, he's not the brightest child, but
yeah, he seems flustered in that movie a lot.
But it has one of my favorite scary moments of towards the end when they're running into like his shack and you just see him from outside
in the
through
distance,
the door window or whatever it is, and he's just like hauling butt up, and he just goes
as fast as Jason hauls butt.
It's probably one of the fastest that he does, especially at this point. It's only the second movie, but that's a genuinely fun kind of creepy moment that Sam David noticed the first time. I think he said.
Correct.
Well, I think that's what a lot of people say is that they think even though the hockey mask is iconic, the sackhead Jason is the scariest. Like if that guy was chasing you through the woods, I'd be a little bit more scared of him
because it's
just
most
slightly
real,
more than a guy with a hockey mask. Yeah. So,
but granted, it is based off of another blatant ripoff of another slasher that already existed.
Right.
So it's kind of like,
which one is that, Bryan?
From what was it? From the
what is it?
Burning or
something?
The
I
Burning.
Seen it.
The Burning.
I don't
know.
The
Burning isn't the
Cropsy Maniac.
The mask, right? Or the
it's not Sleepaway
Burning
Camp.
is just Friday the 13th. No, it's
It's the town that
like
dreaded
Night of
sundown.
Yes, the town that dreaded sundown.
That one.
You,
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ross.
Murder by Trumpet. Or no, Trombone.
Spoilers, Jesus.
Sorry.
He does that. You get used to it.
Yeah.
Bryan, I want to come
Hi.
back to you. Hi.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. Friday the 13th, Part 5. What would you say would be your issues with this movie? If you want to talk about quibbles with this movie, lay it on me.
It doesn't do much for my cockles. The goofy nature to it. It just also feels a little bit grimier than I like in some aspects to it. I
believe, and Ross, you can chime in here. I do believe this movie probably has the most nudity of all 10.
Oh yeah, I would say so. Absolutely. Given the director and a lot of the art. Well, it was the argument of nudity over gore. So it was like
I feel like we made that up when we were talking about it.
But
hey, Bryan,
where it was like, oh, do I have to cut the gore or boobs? Well, I'll keep the boobs and cut the gore.
Cut the gore out.
I just wanted Bryan to turn his mic back on because I saw him turn it off for a second. So I just wanted you to turn it back on.
Okay.
That's all.
It's on.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
There is something magical about this. For me, I love the Friday the 13th series because it's the prime example of an introductory franchise. Is that it's not riveting material, but if you're just getting into horror, I feel like it's a great entry point because it's just such a weird concept that they kind of just morphs into in 10 installments. You know what I mean? Like there's generally scary moments I feel in a lot of these movies, but it's not a genuinely scary movie.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. It's fun.
It's a vibe. I love it.
I mean, I will say when I was in a cabin in the woods recently, 5 did not come on the rotation when I was putting them on. I was like, but I didn't put on 8 either because I was like, I want ones that stay in a cabin atmosphere as well, and just went for it.
True. Which ones did you play?
3 and 4 went on. I believe 6 went on as well. It probably 6 rolled into 7 at one point. I just had them on playing around or whatever because not doing much.
How do you guys feel about 3? I mean, I know we're supposed to be talking about 5, but this is I love doing this.
I like 3. I think 3 is 3 is one of those fun ones where I mean, obviously it is the introduction of the hockey mask, but even outside of that, it shows just
it's shot in 3D.
Yes,
they put so many
the
3D
snake
shots in it.
All the gags, like even without 3D glasses, is just so hilarious to me. You know what I mean? Like even the death, the eye popping one is the 3D.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of good moments. That one's fun.
Everybody can't see, but Bryan and Ross were just they were just doing examples of how 3D looks. It was great. I felt like it was coming right at me.
It was.
Now imagine.
I'm not going to say what was coming right at me, but it was
still Donald ducking it wholesomely.
Again, I was just wondering because 3 has long, like I remember that year when I watched all 10 of them, and I was surprised at how little I liked 3. So my initial reaction is saying that like 3 and 7 are actually my least favorites, and maybe 9, maybe Jason Goes to Hell, but I also think that that's just a wacky movie that I kind of love for what it is.
Oh yeah,
that one's weird. It almost hits it. It almost hits it on the cockles for me. There's something about that weird 90s thing that's going on in it.
It brings so many added questions to the Jason lore. Like, is Jason a Deadite? Because there is a Necronomicon in the Voorhees home. So that adds an entirely different level to me now.
Well, I think our listeners will find out in 4 more Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
sorry
guys.
Maybe in like 4 more years, we'll talk about Jason Goes.
Yes.
Sometimes there's like multiple a year. Sorry.
No, it's sometimes like the last 2 years has
so
been
it might
2,
not be as long as they're waiting.
Yeah, I haven't looked ahead, so
I'll look ahead for you. I'll schedule it out for you guys.
Thank you, Bryan.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Since we kind of touched on the sleaziness of this movie, let's talk about the director real quick, because this is interesting to me. When we did Friday the 13th Part 4 for our last Friday the 13th, which was, September, I think?
Mm-hmm.
One thing that hit me was how sleazy the director and the writer came across in the commentary for the movie. But then we come to Danny Steinmann, who everybody talks about how sleazy this guy was in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you guys know that Danny Steinmann was reportedly just coked up the entire production?
Oh, absolutely. He wore a ski suit. Snowsuit the entire time with the amount of slopes.
I thought this was
that
the one that did that. Where this is, I'm pretty sure then that this is the one, which makes me love it even more, that like actors had to direct themselves in certain scenes, and like the assistant director had to shoot stuff for him, which explains a lot and makes it even better.
All right, pause. What's that, Ross? You got to go?
Yeah, I got to bounce.
All right.
But this was so much fun. I love you, Scotty. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming, Ross.
Thank you.
And thanks for being on the show, too.
Oh, thanks. All right.
We took a break from our hiatus to be here.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, so continuing on, I'm not really going to pause this. I'm just going to let that play. That's We like to be
the
candid
pause
here.
was for your own cue.
In case Ross needed to say something else, but I think that's fine, and everybody can hear Ross just like cut out real suddenly, and it's awesome. But yeah, Danny Steinmann, man. So he directed a porn movie before this one.
Yes, I knew he was a porn director, and I remember reading that the sex scene in the woods in this was originally like 7 minutes long or something, and was essentially a softcore porn scene, and they made him cut it down. And his reasoning was like he thought that in such a tense movie, the audience deserved a little break.
You watched the same interview I did, because I loved hearing him say that. Just the audience needed a break from the killing, but then they wanted either a kill or a jump scare every 8 minutes. So
yeah, that was like an order from the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some stuff I didn't really care to hear about. Well, first of all, the main actress,
I don't know her name,
Melanie Kinnaman, who played Pam, I don't think she was prepared for how see-through her shirt was going to be at the end, for one.
I kind of recall something about that.
Yeah. And then there was, I think it was Robin, who was played by Juliette Cummins. She did not think she was going to be doing a topless scene in this movie, but she was.
Is she the one who does it in the bedroom towards the end of the movie?
Yeah, the one who spurns Jake. Yeah. So she was not too happy about that, and it kind of puts a damper on her scenes, because knowing that she didn't want to do it, but that they kind of pressured her into it. So these directors back then were kind of skeevy.
Especially on this franchise, so many of them, they were all like, just show me your boobs, perverts.
Yeah.
But I guess that's part of the Friday the 13th Friday the 13th charm.
Maybe. I mean, I'm learning so much just doing these episodes because on the other end of the coin, you have Rebecca Wood Sharkey, not Stanley. Rebecca Wood Sharkey, who played Lana, who was happy to show her boobs in the bathroom. She's the one that gets picked up.
Showtime.
Yeah, it's Showtime. And I loved finding out that she got that from All That Jazz.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yes.
So that was a cool behind the scenes thing.
Wasn't that the one that we determined? She was like, oh, here's what you got to do. You got to offer to do it yourself. She's like, if I just do it real quick in this scene by myself, they won't ask me to do it later. So
like
I can
won't
do
have
it.
to
Yeah,
do a whole scene
because
without it.
You know this guy is going to come and ask you to show your boobs. So I'll just do it my way.
So
real
it's just
quick.
a flash.
Yeah.
I had not heard that one. I love that.
That's our
We
made
that
up
up.
reasoning.
What did you guys think of Demon and his
Love
girlfriend?
him. He's like, you hungry? You want to like egg roll? Something else? Slice of pizza?
He had everything.
Yeah, in his van.
But let me ask you this, guys, because this is, it might be a tad personal, but when you guys are sitting on the toilet doing your duty,
Will.
have you ever had a duet with your significant other as they stand outside the door singing with you while you're pooping?
Unfortunately not.
No? Brian? No?
Sam tried it. It didn't work
Well,
for him.
here, yeah. So my wife somehow has seen this Friday the 13th. She watched some of it with me last night, and she had seen it when I originally watched it. She doesn't really watch any horror movies with me. And when we saw this scene, she said, can you imagine us singing this, like me singing a duet with you while you pooped? And then a few months later, we're camping at this like yurt in Michigan, and there's essentially like a outhouse. I mean, it's a standing toilet outside, but it's thin walled anyway. I'm sitting there and I just start singing, hey baby. And I hear my wife say, I'm not doing that.
Oh, man.
So I tried.
That's awesome. I think now, like, one of my big rules in relationships is that you are not going to be in the bathroom with me while I'm pooping. It's just, that's a no-no for me.
That's
in
a
the
new
bathroom?
big rule.
Hell no.
No, it's not new. This isn't new. But what is, after watching this movie, I do think that if a significant other came to the door while I was pooping and started going, ooh, baby, I think I would fall in love.
Well, because it'd be a reference to this movie.
Exactly.
Right? What if she came up and started being like, I want to smell your poop and I want to touch it too?
Yeah, I would laugh, but
All right.
what did you guys think,
Brian would not.
Brian? What did you think of Ethel and Junior?
Which ones were those?
The neighbors.
The neighbors.
neighbors.
Oh. They're a wild bunch.
Incredible.
They are something to behold.
I loved Ethel. I did not like Junior. He's probably my least favorite character in this movie, along with Joey.
Why's that?
I couldn't. Why is that?
Just because he's annoying. That's all.
Oh, all right. I didn't
yeah,
know what
that's
rubbed
fair.
you. Yeah.
I hated them on my first watch, but they've become favorites now. I've started to enjoy, the worser elements of this movie more and more. Worser. A lot of the fair reasons people might dislike this have started to become more enjoyable for me. I think partially because of that in a weird way. It's like opposite of Schadenfreude.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of.
I mean, I get that, and I agree to an extent, but while my love of Ethel has grown and her character, my love of Junior has not grown.
Sure. I still, can agree with that, but I don't hate him anymore.
Okay, that's fair.
Certainly love his death.
Oh, the decapitation on the motorcycle?
Yeah, on the motorcycle.
That is pretty cool. What about Joey?
Joey's tough.
Brian, let me ask you this. If you ran a halfway house or whatever this is in the country, would you allow the person there with the worst anger issues, would you allow him to chop wood with an axe?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Joey would still die if you were running the halfway house. Oh, speaking of running the halfway house, though, the guy who ran the halfway house, Matt, let me look him up real quick. What's his name? Matt, come on, IMDb. You're terrible.
Come on, IMDb.
Richard Young. Did you guys recognize him?
I don't think so.
Oh, man. Have you guys seen a little movie called Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Maybe.
Never even heard of it.
Wow. Wait.
Who?
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, when River Phoenix is playing young Indiana Jones, and he runs into the treasure hunters, the main treasure hunter with the hat, that's
scar,
Richard Young.
right?
That's Matt. He would go on, or I guess he did this one first.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
There we
Big
go.
things ahead of you, guy.
Did you guys like Jake? Okay, Jake, the stuttering guy.
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, cool. How about Tommy's martial arts moves? Did you like that? What'd you think? about
I love
Oh, yeah,
martial arts
absolutely.
moves all day.
Whenever he just explodes, I love when he flips the guy into the table at breakfast.
Also, here was something, an interesting thing that James on Dead Meat brought up. Did you guys ever get the feeling that the two the greasers, let's see, what's their names? Pete and Vinny. Did you ever get the feeling that they were more than just friends?
No.
No? Just
No.
guys dressed as 50s greasers with a leather cap on and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to want to revisit this movie more and look for things to notice something like that. Maybe I never noticed it on my. I don't know. I never
Okay.
noticed it.
Just a
Sorry.
question. It's come
Did
up
you?
in conversation. I didn't, but
Okay.
I guess some people think that they are a gay couple.
Who are these people?
You know,
People who think wearing leather and makes you gay.
those people. No, and then like there's a whole conspiracy, or not a conspiracy, but a whole theory about these two characters, you know. And then the other question I had was, let's go back to Roy, our Jason of the movie.
Yeah.
Of course.
What do you think
Oh, man,
Roy
who
got the
gets hit
whole
by a bulldozer?
Yeah, he did get hit by a bulldozer. That was
Gets back
amazing.
up.
But he was bleeding, which was nice. It was a nice touch. Right?
It's so good.
He gets hit by that bulldozer.
But when he
Reggie the
dies, when
Rescue.
he's finally, you know, I like how Reggie the Reckless and Pam do all of the heavy lifting. And then Tommy, who suddenly lost his ability to do martial arts when he was face to face with Jason.
Mm-hmm.
I do like how, you know, he comes up and he machetes Roy, Jason, in the hand.
Mm-hmm.
Roy falls onto a bed of spikes that is conveniently down on the ground. And his mask comes off. Now, Roy somehow had a whole ass bald cap. Where do you think he got that?
Lumpy and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some good prosthetic.
Like he
work.
went full bore. He was so mad at the death of his estranged son that he did the whole get up. He's like, I am going to become I'm going to become Jason Voorhees. I'm going to wear this bald, lumpy, like face head mask that doesn't cover my actual face because the hockey
well,
mask.
you need a hockey mask for
yeah,
that.
exactly. Thank you. What do you think? What do you think? What? I mean, let's talk about
maybe
Roy.
down at the morgue, he got some like sculpting clay or
Yeah.
something. They got to fix up bodies there, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just very just like Tommy. He's a very gifted special effects guy.
See, now that's what I think. Kind of, not exactly. I think that there's probably a deleted scene where he sneaks into the halfway house and he steals one of Tommy's masks and he cuts the face out of it and he becomes
good.
Jason.
Okay. Interesting. I was going to ask, why do you think he was so accurate to how Jason looked, except for the hockey mask? Why do you think he got that detail? Just that was a personal choice. He's like, I really don't care for red, but I do like blue.
Yeah. You know, I thought about this long and hard. And I think that Roy, when he saw the death of his son, he didn't even see Tommy 'Cause Tommy's just sitting on the porch like nothing. But then he just happened to glance over at him and he said, you know what? I'm going to look up this kid's background. He looked up his background, found out all about what happened when Tommy was 12 and said, I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think it just
I mean,
would have
it
made the
makes
movie too
sense.
long.
But why didn't he get
I'm
the right
surprised
mask?
he even-
That's all I'm asking there. I'm like, if he went to such attention to detail to torment Tommy, I mean, it seems like he would have got a mask. He would have known there should be an axe wound here. It should be red.
Well, you know how people are always like tipping their hand. They want to like get away with something bad, but they also kind of want to tell you, "Hey, I'm gonna do something bad."
Like they want to get caught.
Yeah. He's like, it's like leaving a calling card. His calling card is the blue triangle on the mask.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, that has to be the thing. Is he wanted to put his own flair on it? He made a
He's
choice.
like, screw that Jason guy. I'm going to be Roy.
He made a choice to abandon his son, and his son thinks he's an orphan. I'm surprised Roy even recognized Joey.
I like the idea of him being.
I guess he had a somewhat recent picture in his wallet, but
right under a picture of himself.
Yeah.
See, and like you were saying, Sam, it's little things like that, little stupid ass things like that
amazing.
make me like this movie more when I watch it.
Sure.
Right, Brian?
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for having me. I'm glad it's working.
Like, I can understand how one would feel that way. Yes.
Yes.
And it does. No, I get those. It's fun talking about those little things, and I enjoy that, certainly.
Brian, I'd like you to shower some love on this movie. Who is your favorite character?
You're hitting me with the hard questions.
That's right. That's right. That's what we do.
Tommy Jarvis, because I know his name and I can't remember anyone else's name in this movie besides Roy.
You can just describe them if you can't remember their name. I'll tell you
That
their
one
name.
fella, he was in the house with all the other fellas.
Jake.
That's it. I'm a big Jake guy.
Sam, who's your favorite character?
So it's tough because I want to say Roy, but it's not really Roy. He's not much of a character. I'm a fan of the concept. So I would have to say character would be Reggie the Reckless.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I love Reggie as well. I also love Demon. I think Reggie or Demon are my
Me
favorites.
too.
So.
And the grandpa's great. I love when he tells Reggie he's like, let him know dinner's ready. He goes to the door and screams, hey, y'all, dinner's ready. Grandpa's like, well, I could have done that. Good stuff.
Where do you think Roy got a railroad spike to stick through Matt's head to impale him to a tree? A railroad spike, guys.
Probably at the same place he got the mask.
This movie, man. Just things out of nowhere.
But hasn't Jason's done railroading spike things previously?
Yeah, but usually he gets it from somewhere. Like you see him pick up the railroad spike at least.
Did
it's
we?
like,
I don't
oh,
remember.
here's a pile of railroad spikes here. I'm going to pick it up. But no, we don't even see
Show
Matt
me
die.
the goddamn. Oh no!
Oh,
Sam! It's an explicit episode now, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks
Sorry.
a lot.
did it.
You just got chuddled.
Wait, who got chuddled? Sam or me?
Everyone listening. Sorry, everyone.
Chuddle.
I'm so ashamed.
Yeah.
Well, since we're chuddling, guys, this movie ends with its natural dream sequence. But then after this dream sequence, Tommy wakes up in a hospital. And then Pam comes into the hospital room, but there's no Tommy. He's seemingly jumped out of the window. And then there he is behind her with a mask and a big butcher knife thing. And the movie ends.
Hilarious.
Now, should there be a sequel, and what would it be?
Oh.
Whoa.
Yes, there should be a sequel, and it's a continuation of Roy because now he gets more badass and can come back to life and up his body count, and the legend of Roy continues, and it's called Friday the 13th Part 6, The Return of Roy.
Brian?
Mine's very similar, but then at the end of it, they kill Roy and they take off his mask and it's Jason underneath pretending to be
God.
Roy.
That would be fantastic. Oh my God. We
Yeah,
just made the
yeah.
best Friday the 13th sequel ever.
I know it happens.
Maybe Roy just got slug mouthed or whatever.
I mean, not to speak
I
too
know
much
that's
on
jumping
later ones,
ahead.
but that
Yeah.
could be the case. Maybe we have even talked about that. But yeah, that's probably what happened. So it is all the same.
Mm-hmm.
This
I'll
movie
be
is a
honest with you
5.
guys. I don't remember part 6 very well. Like, I have the whole box set, but it's been a while since I watched part 6.
6 is
I know
fun.
Tommy,
Oh, 6 is great.
Yeah.
I know
4, 5,
Tommy's
and
back,
6 are my favorites.
and he's not Psycho. He doesn't become Jason.
And Tommy is played by the fella I think looks like Glenn Howerton, who he is also in Return of the Living Dead. He is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's one of
young
the
guy at
guys
the warehouse.
in the morgue or the warehouse. Yeah, he's the guy at the beginning.
Yeah, it goes to the morgue. Yeah.
Well,
that's
I'm
awesome.
excited for you to revisit 6 June of 2025.
Thank you, Brian. That's it'll be my birthday episode too. Yay.
Wonderful,
Aw.
wonderful.
Well, guys, that brings us to and everybody go listen to Chuddle the Pod. That brings us to
Thanks.
3 questions.
Mm.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
Sam, we'll start with you. Question number 1, because I think Brian's going to need a moment to think of this one. What did you think was the best kill or death in Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning?
You know, that's interesting. You'd think I'd have one right off the bat. I do. It's Junior's death. The head
decapitation.
getting chopped off on the motorcycle. Yep.
Nice. Brian?
I didn't mean to be lame. That was the same answer for me.
He never means to be lame.
It just happens.
I'm going to go with Eddie. I like the belt around the tree, around pulling his eyes in,
Yeah.
his eyeballs.
Oh, you like the one that's like actually brutal.
Yeah.
The only one.
That's
Brutal
probably why I
boy.
like it.
Brutal with horror.
Mhm. Wholesome my patootie.
It's too late, Sam. You already ruined it.
Brian, question number 2.
Hi.
Do you think this movie is scary?
No.
Okay. Sam?
Nada.
No, me neither. This
Yeah.
isn't scary in the least. And question number 3, guys, both of you. Did you have fun with horror?
Absolutely, you bet. One of the most fun times you can have with horror.
Brian, this may be a different question for you. Did you have fun with horror with this movie?
I
The
mean,
face Brian made when I said one of the most fun times you could have with horror. I wish I had a screenshot of that.
I'm glad you don't, because I imagined it was a funny looking face. I make plenty of those, but that one was probably particularly bad. I will say yes. I mean, ultimately, yeah, because of it's fun if you look past what a lot of people have the issue with of it, not being Jason, all that kind of stuff. But that's not necessarily the reason I don't like the film. So yes, I can have fun with it a little bit, just a little bit of fun.
All
A little
right.
smidge.
Reluctant fun.
Reluctant fun at parts.
Well, ultimately, I had fun with horror. I will say that when I watched this on the plane, it was a 4-hour flight. No, yeah, almost 4 hours. And I was looking at the time of the movie going like, I have to finish this movie to waste an hour and a half of this flight. What's going on? And I was not really having that much fun. But then last night, I had a lot of fun rewatching it. I did not think I was going to watch it in full a second time, but leading up to this and after our conversations yesterday and Sam saying how this was his favorite, I got excited and I watched it with Sam tinted glasses and I enjoyed it. So
happy to loan out some glasses. Hopefully anybody listening that may have disliked the movie can put on some Sam tinted glasses for your next viewing.
Wanna hit this? What's wrong?
Oh,
Hey, you okay?
oh, some damn enchiladas.
Oh. You gonna be all right?
well, okay, guys, that was Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Thank you, Sam, Ross, and Brian for being a part of this.
Thank you for having us.
Brian.
Hi, thank you for having me. Thank you for having us, the whole Chuddle the Pod family. Thank you
Yes.
for having us. That was Ross.
Well, so Tuesday we just released our Strange Darling episode. So you guys, everybody can go listen to that. Our next Fun with Horror episode will be Speak No Evil. Speak No Evil 2024, which I actually saw at 9:00 a.m. in a theater with Sam.
That's right. We sure did.
Ooh, 9 a.m. movie. That's fun.
It was amazing.
Opening weekend.
Guys, what's going on with Chuddle the Pod? Talk up your podcast and tell everybody about how great it is.
Shout out Chuddle the Pod. What's up? Chuddle the Pod. That's right. Chuddle the Pod, a horror movie club. CHUDDLE. We are the Chuddlemen. Every week we put out a new episode that dives into a different horror movie. We do deep dives. We cover franchises. Current franchise we're doing is the Romero Dead movies. Of course, with our friends, the Horror Bandwagon, we got the Day of the Dead coming out or already came out.
Already came out 2 days ago.
Excellent. Check that out. And then we got Gremlins coming up, I think, for the holiday. But we have a good time. We do a lot of this. If you aren't sure about us from what you heard, but maybe you're interested in, Scotty's been on for Fright Night, Return of the Living Dead, and No One Will Save You. So pop on one of those, and hopefully we can get you from there.
That's right. I love Chuddle the Pod. I have told you guys this many times. Chuddle the Pod is probably my favorite podcast out there. We talk about a horror movie podcasts. If you guys out there want to have fun with horror and you don't see what I did, that's because we're fun.
It's
with
your
horror.
show.
Yeah. So if you guys want to have fun with horror without listening to Fun with Horror, go listen to Chuddle the Pod.
That's our official slogan.
That's going to be how we introduce episodes.
Well, until that, Ross out there, wherever you are, we love you. Sam, Andrew, and I love you. And Bryan. Bryan.
Hi, Scotty.
I love you.
Love you too. Thank you for having me.
Everybody, thank you for listening, and have a wonderful Friday the 13th. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
I love you too, Scotty.
I'm gonna chop you into itty bitty little pieces, my friend. Just like they done to that piggo over there at that fucking crazy farm. You big dildo. Eat your fucking slop.